All right, so now that the cake is done, let's take a look at animating the icing. So this is actually pretty simple. Like there's not much to do here. Okay, all we need to do is we just need to animate the this particular curve. Okay, so we just take a carve tool, a carve node, and just animate it. Okay, so we can take a carve and make sure that you put in the carve before the attribute triangle, because this is where the scaling is happening. Okay, like this attribute triangle is where we are scaling down the icing. So make sure that the carve goes before that. And then I can just, now the other thing is our animation. Let's see when our cake animation ends. Okay, so our cake animation is ending at, let me just check the frame here. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just take, let's take the VDB from Polygon and make it 0.006. So it's faster to calculate. And then we can just, I just want to scrub it ahead till it's stable. Yeah, I think we can start at 200. I think 200 should be fine. So let me just take, click here and on the global animation options, and we'll make this timeline about 400 frames. Okay, and then let's just come to 200. And we'll come in here to the sweep. Okay, so just take the carve. If you want to color it, you can color it so that we know which one is animating. And you can also press Z and maybe change, we'll change the shape. Okay, so we'll just take this and come down here, do alt click, come to around, let's say 300, or okay, let's do 280. And you'll basically get this. Now, it's sort of like you're getting a lot of twists in the beginning and then lesser towards the end, is because in the sweep, we have the option kept to full twists. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take the full twists and make them 0. And in the partial twist, keep this to per edge. Okay, and then we can just make it so per edge, it gives a certain twist amount, and we can just keep this to about 3. So you'll notice that it doesn't, it's much better now. Yeah. And that's basically it. If we come into the VDB smooth, and let's just do one thing. Let's get this to around 0.008 and lower the smooth amount. Okay. And then let's just take a look at the icing. Yeah, there you go. So let's just try to lower it a little bit more. Let's try 0.006. Yeah, perfect. See, so you'll get a nice little animation of the icing. Okay, so along with this, because we just this is a fairly small lesson, so we can also add in the sprinkles. So the sprinkles is basically just going to be we're going to scatter some points and animate it. So what I can do is, let's do one more thing. Let's come into the sweep. Let's make it around 5. So we get a few more. Yeah, okay. I think that looks better. Or 4. I think 4 should be okay. No, I think yeah, this looks fine. Okay, so what you want to do is, we're just going to animate this. So I'm going to take this and we'll do a group. And again, I'm going to say top. I'll turn this off, turn on keep normals, 1 and 0. Yeah, so we're just selecting these top areas. And then I can just do a simple scatter to top. Okay, so we have the scatter. Now, what frame are we finishing the animation? So yeah, okay, so this is at around 280. So let's come to around 290. And what I'm going to do is, I want to copy some spheres on this. Okay, so let's just take a sphere. And we'll do a randomize. So we'll do attribute randomize, we'll randomize the color. And we'll also randomize the p-scale. And let's also do one thing. We'll take the scatter, like scale by radius, and make it a little more randomized. We'll modify this to p scale and 1, like the dimension should be 1. And then let's try to copy this. So we'll do copy to points. Yeah, and just, sorry, took the wrong thing. Okay, take a sphere and lower the radius. What you can also do is you can try to turn on the p scale inside the scatter. So just take this and turn on output radius. And take this p scale and set it to multiply. Okay, then we'll have to increase the size. So make this back to 1 and take this back. So this is perfect. So this is what we want. Now, now what I want to do is I want these to scale up. Okay, so how we can do the scaling is I can come in here and I can take another sphere, and we are going to use a new node in Houdini 18 called mask from geometry. And this allows you to, it's more or less like a better version of the attribute transfer node. So it automatically generates an attribute called mask. So what we want to do is we want to take this and we'll generate the mask from here. Like if you press enter, and I'll keep this to polygon. Yeah, so this will basically turn red. And all you want to do is just animate the sphere moving down. So I want to start off from there. Okay, and just come, like do an alt click, come down to around say 360 or something. No, like 330. Okay, and just bring it down. And if we look at the mask, you'll see it getting animated. So what we can do is we can just lower the radius a little bit so it doesn't really come in that quickly. Yeah, I think this is better. And maybe you can just take this guy and yeah, take it up a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll plug this in here. So we've generated an attribute called mask. Okay, and what this should do is if we come into, if we come here after, like let's call this p scale random. And what I can do is I can take a wrangle over here, and we can very simply just multiply the p scale with the mask. So what you do is you say at p scale multiplied by equal to at mask and semicolon. And what that should do is you'll get the animation coming in. So it's pretty simple. Now another thing we can do is if we want, like the reason why it's so slow is because the animation is continuously being calculated. But what I can do is, let's say if I want a static frame out of this, I can just take like a time shift over here and I can just delete that. Okay, so we have, then what we have is like a static frame. So all the animation over here is still being calculated, but these guys are being calculated on a static frame. So it will be a lot faster now. See. So effectively, if I press play, you'll get this. So if you merge them together, you should get a relatively decent result. So if I just take a merge, so I can take this guy and, bring this down. If it's turning black, that means this has normals and that one doesn't. So just apply a normal to this, or it could also be a color issue. Yeah, okay. So this doesn't have color. So just take a color. Yeah, there we go. So let's just make this like pink or something. Okay, like let's, Yeah, so there we go. So we have like our entire animation coming in. And once the animation finishes, you'll get, this thing sort of forming. Okay, so this is basically everything that we wanted to do as far as the animation is concerned. So the next thing is I want to add a little more detail to this animation, like the icing being formed. So we'll take a look at that in the next video.